Hello, boys and girls. All right, so we are continuing to work on that strange word empathy, which is where we're really trying to be in the moment with someone and listen to how they are feeling and then do some sort of caring action, saying or doing something to let them know that we care about how they feel. Now, there is a lot of research on how we communicate to each other. There's a lot of scientists and doctors that spend a lot of time looking at how people, when they talk to each other, how we can figure out how the other person is feeling and what they mean when they're talking. And so there's different ways to do that. So one is tone of voice, and which is why we practice so much using that calm voice when we're solving small problems. Because again, if you say the right words when you're solving a small problem, like please stop, but you use an angry voice, it doesn't sound very nice. So we want to be using that calm voice. But the same is true when you are trying to figure out how somebody is feeling. The words they're using can be less important than their tone of voice. If you're hearing an angry tone of voice or a whiny tone of voice, even if somebody's saying something that sounds nice, you should be able to notice that maybe they're feeling upset. The other big thing is our body language and our facial expression. So like my body language, if I'm doing this and I'm talking to you, you could probably take a guess I might not be feeling happy if I'm walking around like this. My body is drooping, it's telling you I'm not happy. The same is true for our facial expressions, that our face is probably going to show our emotions. So what we're going to do today is we're going to practice. I'm going to give you guys a challenge of trying to notice how someone's feeling just looking at their facial expression without any words, so you're not going to have that tone of voice to help you figure it out, and without any real body language, mostly just from the shoulders up. And I want to see if you guys can figure it out. So I took pictures from the Zones of Regulation room where Miss Warren, Mr. Daly, and I were showing some different emotions, and I took the emotion out of it. And you're going to have a couple seconds to look at the emotion of a couple of us. Some of them are two of us, some of them are three of us showing that same emotion, and then you're going to have a second to guess what emotion there are. So this is kind of like a challenge to you to see if you can figure out how people are feeling just by looking at their face. And what I want you to notice is what parts of our face are most expressive. So, for example, here, I'm going to show you a picture. Here is a picture of Mr. Daly when he's showing us what it looks like when he's angry. So this is his angry face. Now, I want you to pay attention to his eyes so you can see what his eyes look like. His eyes and his eyebrows. Our eyebrows are kind of down. His eyes are a little closed. And his mouth, you can see he's not smiling. This is an unhappy mouth. And I want you to look at that and compare that with, here's Miss Warm showing us happy. Look at them right next to each other now. Look at her eyes and eyebrows. They're bigger, they're open, and her mouth is smiling. So those are some things that you can use to look at. Pay attention to their eyes and eyebrows and the mouth. Those are some of the most expressive parts of our face. It's going to help you try to figure out what that emotion is. Now, some of these are going to be very challenging. For example, I do have angry and frustrated in here. They are going to look very similar. There's going to be some slight differences. So see if you can figure out which one is which when you're going through this little quiz here. So this is just a way to practice, getting used to. When we're using empathy, remember we're paying attention to how the person we're with is feeling. And sometimes you might need to really pay attention to their facial expression to get a good idea of what they're feeling. So this is a practice for you to see if you can guess emotions just on somebody's facial expression, okay? So good luck with that. At the end, I threw in a bonus to see if you can guess Fiona and how she is feeling from some pictures. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, cats, you don't really have facial expressions the way that people do. So you're going to see, it's really hard to tell how a cat is feeling just from their facial expression. You really need body language from a cat. So, all right, boys and girls, enjoy this. You don't need to tell me if you got anything right or wrong. I just want you to practice. And if you get a bunch wrong, is that okay? Absolutely. We are learning something new. This is when we make mistakes. Mistakes are okay because it means that you're trying. I just want you to try your best. If you guess an emotion and you get it wrong, it's okay. Then you just learn from that. Maybe figure out what you could notice next time. The other thing is, if you guess, let's say we're going through here, and you guess that the emotion is, I'm trying to think. Let's say you guess the emotion is happy, and it turns out it's proud. Proud and happy are both happy emotions. They're both good emotions. So if you guessed happy and it was actually proud, that's okay. You're on the right track. Because that means you're paying attention to the person's face and you can see that it is a positive emotion. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as you can kind of get used to really looking at someone's face when they're talking to try to help you understand how they're feeling. It's going to help you know what to do for the second part of empathy, which is that caring gesture, that saying or doing something to show that you care. All right, without further ado, here are your challenges coming up. Let's see how many you can get right, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is confused. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is excited. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is frustrated. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is happy. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is proud. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is angry. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is sad. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is scared. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is shy. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is silly. Last one. The emotion is worried. Bonus questions. The emotion is cat emotions. Take it away, Fiona. The emotion is scared. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is happy. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is confused. Try to guess the emotion. The emotion is frustrated. Last one. The emotion is silly.